Hi, my name is Julio Rivera. I'm an activist, journalist, adventurer, veteran, television presenter, and businessman. I've covered many of the major historical events going on around the world over the past several years, and after watching regime changes, conflict, and historic elections globally, I've come to the conclusion that the most underreported crisis in the world today can be defined in only one word: malware. That's why I've decided to dedicate my time to educating people everywhere and exposing the dangers that exist on the devices that we've become tethered to and depend on for so many reasons in our day-to-day life. Welcome to This Week in Malware. On This Week in Malware, we'll be covering YGVB, DWQS, and HAJD Ransomwares join the ever-growing Djvu Ransomware family. YGVB Ransomware is another infection of the Djvu Ransomware family. Like its predecessors, it locks files and demands a ransom fee to restore file access. If you tend to install applications from misleading and/or potentially unreliable third-party sites, you may expose yourself to threats like YGVB Ransomware. YGVB Ransomware can corrupt and encrypt multiple file types, including photos, music, documents, and videos. YGVB Ransomware, upon installation, appends the .ygvb file extension to encrypted files and leaves a ransom note named README.txt on the user's desktop and in every folder containing encrypted files. Unfortunately, the YGVB ransomware victims do not have access to a free decryption tool at the moment. The only unreliable way to recover affected files is to restore them from a backup or use alternative data recovery options. Although the hackers behind YGVB ransomware promise to provide a decryptor in exchange for payment, it's possible that you may pay and never receive the decryption key. YGVB ransomware spreads similarly to many other ransomware variants in terms of distribution. It generally comes via malicious spam emails or unreliable third-party websites. Once it accesses the targeted system, the ransomware utilizes the AES cipher algorithm to encrypt important files and then demands a ransom for the decryption key. The cost of decryption is $980, but the hackers will offer a 50% discount if contact is established within the first 72 hours after infection. How to protect yourself from a YGVB ransomware infection? To protect yourself from a YGVB ransomware attack, you should have a reputable malware remediation tool installed on your computer. That way you can constantly scan for elements associated with this troublesome ransomware infection and other malware. Also, to reduce the potential damage of a future ransomware infection, please consider backing up your files on an external hard drive or cloud storage. The Djvu Ransomware family continues to make major headlines as it grows to be one of the most prolific ransomware families globally. It is said that the Djvu clan releases several new variants every week, and DWQS Ransomware is one of the many variants that have emerged to join the family. DWQS Ransomware received its name from the .dwqs suffix that it adds to the encrypted files. This ransomware strain works just like the other Djvu ransomware family members. The same applies to the program's distribution, as DWQS ransomware spreads mostly via spam emails, social engineering, and compromised websites. The DWQS ransomware experience. Users will unwittingly download DWQS ransomware and suddenly they will find their files encrypted and inaccessible. As mentioned, the affected files will have the .dwqs suffix, and victims will find the ransom note on their desktop in the form of the .readme.txt document. In the ransom note, the cybercriminals request $980 for file decryption, but they're willing to lower the price to $490 in return for payment within 72 hours. The hackers also provide victims with contact information in the form of 2 emails: restore all data at firemail and gorentos@bitmessage.ch, and a Telegram account @datarestored. Victims are asked to send one file to be decrypted for free as proof that the ransomware operators can unlock the files after receiving payment. As always, we strongly recommend that victims do not communicate with the hackers and refrain from paying any ransom, as paying does not guarantee that victims will receive a decryption tool. Surviving a DWQS ransomware attack. In general, we strongly recommend users keep backups of their valuable files to mitigate the trouble caused by ransomware infections. But if you find yourself infected by DWQS ransomware, we recommend that you use a reputable anti-malware tool to scan for and remove the elements related to this nasty infection. HAJD Ransomware is another addition to the Stop Djvu Ransomware family. Like other programs in the group, it encrypts files and asks for a ransom fee to restore file access. You are more likely to get infected with ransomware if you often install applications from unfamiliar and/or possibly unreliable third-party sites like peer-to-peer file sharing sites or cracked software sites. Once HAJD ransomware enters the victim's system, it utilizes the AES encryption algorithm to encrypt important files and then demands a ransom for the file decryption key. HAJD ransomware can encrypt multiple file types including photos, music, documents, and videos. During the encryption process, HAJD ransomware adds the .hajd file extension to affected files and leaves the readme.txt ransom note on the user's desktop and in every folder with encrypted files. The ransom note says decryption costs $980, but the hackers will offer a 50% discount if victims contact them within the first 72 hours after infection. Unfortunately, no public decryption tool for the HAJD ransomware is available at the moment. The best way to recover encrypted files is to restore them from a backup. If you do not have a backup data strategy, consider researching the web for a data recovery service that might be capable of restoring some of the affected files. The hackers behind HAJD ransomware might promise to provide a decryption key if you pay the ransom, but there is no guarantee they will actually do that. How do I remove HAJD ransomware from my computer? You should invest in a reputable malware remediation tool to protect yourself from HAJD ransomware and other similar infections. With a reliable anti-malware tool, you will be able to regularly scan your computer for any malicious elements and remove them immediately. You know, as I think about the dangers that exist online, not unlike the subjects we learned about in this video, I know I feel a lot better having an anti-malware program like SpyHunter installed in my PC, providing me the protection I need against malware, and I think you should too. SpyHunter 5's strongest features are found in its malware repair capabilities. SpyHunter 5's remediation algorithms dive deep into your system to remove and address complex malware issues affecting PCs today. While many anti-malware products only flag and quarantine malware and ultimately fail to fully remediate the root problem, the SpyHunter 5 remediation algorithm detects, quarantines, and programmatically repairs malware problems on your PC. SpyHunter 5 is a powerful PC utility that repairs malware threats in many cases where other competing anti-malware and antivirus programs may fail. To detect and remove malware for free, go to enigmasoftware.com and download SpyHunter today. Thanks for watching.